Welcome to the Introduction to Scratch video. The first thing we're going to discuss is what a sprite is. A sprite is a character or object within Scratch that we can apply code to. We can apply code to make our Scratch move, change costume, change color. There's all sorts of things that we're going to learn how to do with our sprite. So the first thing I want to show you is how we would add a sprite. So if we come over here, it says New Sprite. So we're going to select this, choose a sprite from library. Once I've made that selection, there's all kinds of categories of sprites. So I'm just going to select animals, and I'm going to choose an animal. I think I'm going to do this penguin. So you'll see that the sprite that I've selected has a blue line around it, and then I can click on the OK button. So now I'm going to show you how to delete a sprite that you don't want to have in your program. So I'm going to delete this kitty cat. So you'll see that the penguin has a blue line around it. That's the sprite that's currently selected. So I'm going to click on my cat sprite, and I'm going to right click, so I'm going to use the right mouse button to select this menu, and then I'm going to use my regular mouse button to delete my sprite. Next, I want to show you how we know where our sprite is inside our background, so the location of it. So it's a little bit tricky, but if you look down here, there's a number after the X and a number after the Y. And as you move your mouse around the screen, those numbers are changing. So the thing you really need to know is that X and Y are 0 right at the center of your screen. And then as you go to the right, your X value gets bigger. And as you go to the left, it gets smaller. And then it starts to go negative, and then it'll get bigger negative number. The Y value is the up and the down. So the key thing here is X is left and right, Y is up and down. Now we're going to add some simple code to our sprite. So for our coding, we are going to stay in these top 4 areas of our Scratch window. So the blue is motion, which is moving our sprite. The purple blocks are looks, so those are how our sprite looks. Events, these are things that are going to trigger our code to do things. And then control. In here we're going to find our loops and our weights. So for adding some simple code, I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to say when my green flag is clicked, so this is my green flag, then I want to change color. So I'm going to come over to the looks. I always want to set my color to 0, so that will make my sprite go back to the original color at the very beginning. Then I want to grab my forever loop, and I'm going to grab this weight block because I'm going to use it in just a second. And I'm going to come back to my looks, and I want to change the color effect. But I don't want to just change really, really fast. I want it to wait in between. So I'm going to put this wait block. So my code says when my green flag is clicked, I set the color to 0, and then forever until I click my stop button, I'm going to change the color, wait a second, change the color, wait a second, and so on. So let's hit my green flag and see what happens. Oh, that's kind of silly how my penguin is changing color. I'm going to go ahead and click stop. So you notice that I just clicked my blocks into place. If I had made a mistake and I needed to remove some code, I can just drag it out, but I actually need that code, so I'm going to put it back. And if I ever needed to insert code, I can move it down, insert the code I need, and then connect my blocks again. And that's how we add our simple code to Scratch.